Look at all you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. And if we have any newbies here from the newly restored TikTok, welcome as well. You all might be new to the way we do things, and if you are, get ready for a very bumpy ride because we don't play the TikTok game here. It's a little bit different, little bit different.
Are they still not letting lives on TikTok?
Oh, they
they
got
are.
tons of lives.
They got
That's all they
lives.
do now.
Oh, are
go
there?
crazy
Because they
now.
weren't
Ham.
the last couple days I checked.
Yeah.
Ham. All the lefties
Yeah.
are going live just to scream and complain.
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the caveat off Marlon, we don't, like he said, this isn't like TikTok. We don't run it like TikTok. So in the chat, if we don't answer a question or respond to something that's off topic, don't be offended because
Or be
Go.
offended. Or be
Well,
offended.
because it's
or
a
be offended.
podcast
Just
show and not a TikTok
Yeah,
live.
right,
There's a
right.
difference between the two of those things. If you wanna do that, then you should go to Twitch and watch somebody there to chat with them. That's equivalent.
Basically.
That's
We
equivalent.
reserve the right to roast. And the good thing about here is that you can't shut it. you
yes.
can't go reporting anything because
And,
we're not
and,
going anywhere.
and I will tell you, if we get you, it's no holds barred. We don't play by TikTok rules. We
No.
don't.
No
We
off
will-
switch.
And remember, Mark Zuckerberg allows us to say racist things now. So
Yeah, and we will eat you alive. We will eat you alive on this podcast. We won't say racist things. We kind of have a decorum here where we don't like to curse and do crazy stuff. But if you get us out of line, we will get you.
There's
it was more meaning of the joke that people are like Mark Zuckerberg switched sides as soon as the inauguration
he ain't
happened, because
switched
you
no
saw that,
sides.
right? Because you
He
saw
ain't switched
Jeff
sides.
Bezos and
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg there at the inauguration side by side,
Yeah,
with Mark
Opportunist.
Zuckerberg checking out his chick.
opportunist.
yeah, opportunities.
Opportunist.
That's all
they
over
are.
the news.
He's hoping that if he did that, Trump gonna be easy on him when it comes to
Right.
things.
At least we know Mark Zuckerberg is a human because he totally checked out Jeff Bezos' chick.
But he
So-
thought he might have thought she was a robot.
Or maybe she was another lizard person with that
See?
plastic surgery
Hey.
she had, probably.
I can't say that he thinks that he's human now. I still can't believe that. However, our President Trump came and hit the ground running.
Mhm.
Our
And when I
president.
say that man hit the ground running, he didn't waste a second of time. And of course, you're going to have certain people that just are not happy about anything he do. And one of those persons is a little boy by the name of Harry Sisson. In case you
Oh,
guys
gosh.
know,
I
Um,
saw he was on Piers Morgan, but I didn't watch
Beta. That's Beta Boy Supreme.
Beta Boy Supreme. And if you go to Taco Bell and you order like a Supreme taco, it'd be him. He's that one.
He is the 3-day-old sour cream that you get at the
Oh,
bottom of your Taco
ugh.
Bell bug. That's what you
Basically,
got.
yeah.
It's
Left it in your
that.
back of the car in the summer.
Yeah.
So he's congealed
It's
mayo.
been in that bag for like 3 days. Yeah.
Congealed mayo.
Ooh.
He went from white to transparent. But he
He's not
he
even
had
a
a problem.
Pinto. He's a Metro.
He had a
Metro.
problem with Trump. This is his problem. Listen carefully to his problem. He said that Trump has been in office now, and the price of eggs hasn't come down, the price of gas hasn't come down. And look, I understand that he loves to deal in the hyperbolic, and he has to do with the most rage-baiting things that he can do. But I slightly believe that he actually believes that on day one that was going to happen. But the thing is, when Biden came in, and Biden said on day one he was going to do something, Harry's statement was like, it takes more than a day to do something. So you
Yeah.
can't really, and this is what we say when we don't want to interact with them. Retards don't have an interaction button. You give them a hard hat, sit them in a corner, give them a binky, and give them some Legos, the large Legos, and just turn your back on them. Leave them in the
Yeah.
room, leave them alone, because they cannot be interacted with. People like Harry, I don't even know why Piers Morgan brought him on. I think Piers was looking for some entertainment and
Has to have
something to
been.
beat on, and it
Basically.
worked. It worked.
I mean, you can see Piers Morgan's face during the interview. He was getting very frustrated with Harry, and Harry
Very.
was acting like I mean, he is a child, but he was acting even more like
Yeah.
a little spoiled, entitled child on the show, mocking Dave Rubin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mocking him,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Ooh." It was
I
making
think
me mad, but
Hey,
you
better
know,
them than us if there had been us on there.
he would have got his Wheaties.
The fact that anybody paid this person to be a spokesperson for their campaign at any point in time has to be reevaluated for mental incapacities, or AKA being a retard, because that's exactly what it was. You picked a retarded person to campaign for a retarded person to hire a retarded person, because it was like three squared retarded.
That's a lot
of people.
Wow,
that's huge.
So he signed some.
Right.
Oh, but we have to see that. We have to see what the main page looks like, y'all.
That's such a breath of fresh air. I'm sorry.
This is the White House.gov's page now.
Kill you.
And America is back. All right, cool. And so we're going to look at his executive actions here. One of the big things he did too, by the way, Beverly Beatty got released from prison, which is great.
Yeah.
She got released because she was arrested initially for causing trouble outside of a Planned Parenthood. I will say this once and for all, just so there's no equivocations. I hope every Planned Parenthood building implodes.
Mm-hmm.
I hope some electrical something at night when nobody's there, all of the buildings just go whoosh, up in
smoke. And speaking on Planned Parenthood, remember the lady with the really short hair, the spokesperson for Planned Parenthood? What was her name? The white lady. She had
the
really
former president. The former president.
Yeah, she had a really short hair.
Oh, what's her name?
Well, whatever her name. You know, she passed away, right?
Oh, good.
Was it the one that won the Indolist or the She won an award.
Yeah, it was years ago. She was. I forget her name, but she had short hair. She had like real short hair. Yeah, she passed away. I think she was like 60-something years old. But I think, she passed away the other day.
Of what?
She finally feels what the kids felt. Anyway, that's amazing to me.
Cecile Richards.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
Someone had to say it. Okay.
Cecile Richards.
Cecile Richards. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Fact sheet: President Donald J. Trump designs the House
Houthis.
Oh, the Houthis.
It's the Houthis.
Like, what? That doesn't spell right. The Houthis as a foreign terror. That's good. That is good. Redesignates the Houthis as a foreign terrorist. Not good. Okay. He grants clemency for Terrence Hutton. Who's that? Let's find out who Terrence Hutton is. His convictions in the United States court. I hereby. Can someone look him up? Tell me who that is, please. What did he do?
What was he?
I would like to know. Terrence Sutton. Yeah. Designated the Ansar Allah as a foreign terrorist organization. This was, of course, what the potato didn't want to do. He didn't want to call nobody what they were. Executive grant of clemency for Andrew Zabavsky. Look him up too. President Donald Trump protects the states of America and the American people by closing the border to illegals via proclamation. Now, since the border is indeed closed, the bigger issue here is this. Will we see mass deportations? Yes or no?
Yes.
So,
and I think they've already started in some states, and a lot of people are self-deporting, because I remember us talking about this a couple episodes ago, and the director of Homeland Security, the guy now said, you can leave now and turn around and come back and apply, or if we have to deport you, you have to wait 20 years before you can reapply to come back. So I think a lot of people are trying to get over there before they actually get deported.
All right. Those two men that we mentioned were police officers, FYI. Now, I initially read it and I thought, oh boy. But then here's what it says. They were sentenced to 66 months in prison, and the other lieutenant, Zabavsky, was sentenced to 48 months in prison in connection with an unauthorized police pursuit. That should tell you everything you know. I'm gonna bet money it was a blue state, and that ended in a collision on October 23rd, 2020, that caused the death of Karen Hayden Brown, 20, in Northwest Washington, D.C. Call it. The sentencing was announced by U.S. Attorney General Matthew Graves and FBI acting special agent in charge, David Geist, of the Washington field office. They don't want you chasing criminals. They want you letting them go. That's amazing.
I don't know the circumstances of the cases, and I'm just going to trust their judgment of why they did that. But I mean, Biden also pardoned a bunch of people that were convicted of murder too. So
fair.
And
equal across the board.
CP.
It was Yeah, and then that one judge that sold a bunch of kids for private prisons. So there's
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right. I can't forget about
He
that.
seems to have a
So
knack for
like
that.
if we're gonna like throw stones, then maybe we should look at other places besides that one.
Does he seem to have a knack to using prisons like him and little Cry girl has
Yeah.
a propensity for using prisons for something like they did with the California fire. Kind of weird.
It
Yeah.
still amazes me that people just kind of gloss over the fact that the 94 crime bill is one of the reasons why the black population is in such
they-
dire straits that they had
They
been for
don't
this entire
gloss over
time.
it. They don't gloss over
Yeah.
it. They ignore it. Big difference.
Yep.
Massive
Yeah.
difference. President Donald J. Trump delivers emergency price relief for American families to defeat the cost of living crisis.
Yeah, that was
Take a
the
gander at
executive
that.
order.
Yeah, let's look at it.
The executive order declares a national emergency at the southern border following 4 years of record-shattering illegal immigration. This is the one, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
No,
No.
that's the emergency on the southern border.
Where's
The other one
here? This is the
that
one.
the cost of living crisis is one that he's directing most of the institutions and the federal government to address the cost of living and find out why it's costing as much
Right away
and
it
to do
is.
something about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So here it is. Presidential memorandum recognizes a critical component of the crushing cost of everyday living. The Biden administration imposed complex regulatory burdens and radical policies designed to weaken American production. The president is ordering of all federal agencies to untangle the American economy from Biden's constraints and improve affordability of necessary goods and services and increase the prosperity of American workers. This in action includes drastically lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply, eliminate unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices that drive up healthcare costs, eliminate counterproductive requirements, raising the cost of home appliances. That would be that whole green crap that they were trying to push. Create
Yes.
unemployment, create employment opportunities for American workers, including drawing discouraged workers into the labor force, and eliminate harmful, coercive climate policies driving up the cost of food and fuel.
Yeah, I can give the Trump administration the easiest win on that is to quit letting Blackguard and Vanguard, Blackguard, Blackstreet, and
BlackRock.
State Street, those people, BlackRock, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And those people from owning single family homes in a giant package deal that they bought up since 2020, right? Like get these people out of that market and actually free up the homes to be bought instead of rented forever.
So hold on. You're telling me you want me to believe that my former president, the best president ever, President Biden, was in cahoots with rich people? It's impossible, man.
No,
Right.
Liberals don't do that. Democrats don't do that. They're not for the rich. They're
Yeah,
for
They're for the people.
the working man, the people.
The people.
You wanna blow everybody's minds is when you tell them the least amount of money that oil companies made in the last 16 years was when Donald Trump was in office.
They wouldn't listen to
They
me.
actually made less money when he was in charge.
Crazy stuff. Ending illegal
I know, right?
discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank
we
you.
needed that. By the power invested in me as the president of the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Longstanding federal civil rights laws protect individual Americans from discrimination based on race, sex, religion, and color and national origin. And these civil rights protections serve as a bedrock supporting equality of opportunity for all Americans. Now, I'm glad he stated it that way. Equality of opportunity.
I like
See, what
that.
they like to
Yeah.
stop at is equality and just
Well,
leave
let's
it
see.
like that.
Not enough
and
opportunity.
and under that, doesn't that get rid of affirmative action?
It do.
It does.
Okay, just let people know.
As it should.
But they've already gotten rid of affirmative action in the Supreme Court, but a couple of years, like, was it a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago?
Yeah, for
that
some
they got rid of
colleges,
that?
yes.
No. It was for everybody. Affirmative action period was unconstitutional.
gone,
is what
gone?
They,
Yeah.
gone.
I want it back.
Yep.
Now that it's gone, I want it back. I've missed out on
But
so
this
much. not being able to
basically
say I'm black,
cements
I
the
want a job.
idea that you cannot hire based on race.
But
Like, because that's what they were doing with this policy is they were hiring people based off of DEI policies, which it wasn't based on merit or if they were good enough. It was we had to make the quotas for a certain amount of X, Y, and Z people.
They did it in the military too, so it wasn't just in the civilian sector. It was nationwide, all over every avenue, every aspect of our country. So I'm glad it's gone. Except for black conservatives. I think it should only apply to black conservatives.
It was whether or not you were good enough of a color. Okay, get it right.
Conservatives don't
Yeah. Oh, you mean colorism?
Yes.
Yes.
Like TVs, everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Yet today, roughly 60 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, critical and influential institutions of American society, including the federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, and medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, and institutions of higher education have adopted and actively used dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility, that can violate the civil rights law of this nation. And it does. Because if you're trying to tell me that the rule is you cannot do it based on those things, yet still you're telling me that you're going to do it based on those things because of the law, you aren't reading.
Yeah, you can't have this Civil Rights Act and then hire people based on if they've got a broken leg or if they're black.
Or
if you got a bum leg and you're black, then you're right up there above the white guy that can walk straight.
Hey, Mike, we black.
Mm-hmm.
You think we can get some money if we just broke our leg?
Maybe, man.
Not anymore.
Hey, it's worth hey, we got at least another week before it can fully take place. We got some time.
Yeah, right.
We got some time. Come on now.
Next
Don't
month.
be a negative Nancy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion, restoring names that honor American greatness. I'm glad about that one. Designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations, and specially designating global terrorists. Love that.
That one's going to be one of those ones that people are like, it's kind of up in the air. It's a good and a bad thing at the same time. Like my honest opinion of it is deterrence, because there's a significant difference between cartels operating as a criminal organization versus a terrorist organization, because the law doesn't really apply to you anymore, because they used to say, it's the risk of running a drug organization was good enough if all you had to do was go to jail. Not if SEAL Team 6 is showing up at your house at 6 a.m. to fucking shoot you in the face. You know what I mean? Like totally different things. Sorry for the language, but that's what it goes.
And they never applied it. Look at LinkedIn and the employee group photos, all white. I don't know what that's supposed to
I don't know what that meant.
And what do you mean by the blacks on this panel are unbelievable? What exactly is unbelievable?
What does that mean?
I know we are handsome men.
Yes.
Okay?
Maurice is thirsty.
Yes.
Successful.
What do you mean by unbelievable? If you don't mind explaining that, that'd be great.
Yeah, please explain.
Spoiler alert! I smell racial epithets coming.
No. I'm gonna say that they mean that we are incredible. The word unbelievable they're using there simply means wow, they're amazing. I really like them.
Thank you. I'll take that.
This is the reason why the left kept losing the last couple of elections.
And this is why.
No, you're reading it wrong. You're reading it wrong. She meant this positively.
And this is why they'll continue to lose.
You two are so negative. The person means that we are unbelievable in a great way. We're so
being realistic.
Amazing.
In today's
Marlon, you got to wave your hand in front of the camera. Use the Jedi mind trick.
We are so amazing. It's incredible.
We are so amazing. We are.
I threw my heart out to you.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing. It's funny to me because, like, if you ask somebody randomly out of the people on this panel, who is the most lefty and who's the most righty,
Coy's the most left.
Most people would get it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm probably the most left person on this panel between all of us, and Marlon happens to be the darkest of us all.
I'm the most white.
Marlon's extreme right.
I'm extreme right. I'm way right.
The way we are set up right now is exactly how that spectrum goes.
Yes.
Marlon is the highest tier of racism, and I am at the bottom.
What is that, Marlon?
You darn blacks.
Darn blacks.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus is up there.
Woogity boogity. Woogity boogity. Stay in your place, you blacks. Know your place. Get back out there in that field, that plantation. Come on.
Where did
They probably
Marie
left.
go?
Since.
They left. They left.
Marie, I need an answer, please, if you don't mind. We'll be waiting for your answer, by the
Yeah.
way. Please answer.
But back to what I was talking about, the cartels and stuff like that. Is like there's a difference between distinguishing them as a terrorist organization versus a criminal organization, because there's a lot more leeway they get to do to you as a deterrent, because it's not going to be criminal. It's not going to be able to keep a business running if you're worried that SEALs are going to come through your door. Know what I mean? Like that's going to be the deterrent to make people stop selling drugs, is that if they are considered a terrorist organization, that means they don't go to jail, they just die. That's it. So it doesn't become a good thing for them to continue to sell them drugs.
Blacks and Asians.
Thank you, Janet. At least somebody believes us. Thank you so much. I love our crew. Our people are amazing.
Thank you.
Anyway,
but at the same time, it's also bad because we're making more of the war on terror thing.
I think we should go after them. And here's how I mean we go after them. Ban them from America, period. I don't mean go and start war with them, but if you step in here, there'll be war here. That's period. We're not gonna come down there and take care of you, but we'll take care of you here.
And here's how America, when he says drain the swamp, because we all know that a lot of our politicians are tied into the cartels. This is why they have so much freedom of movement. The little peons get caught, but the big wigs, they never get caught. And they know that our government has some deal going on with them to where they can transport certain things into our country. Yeah. So this is all part of it, man. Once they start getting these guys and they start figuring out who they're tied to through their investigations, you're going to see a lot more of these politicians go down. And that's
which you're right, because taking money from a criminal organization is much different than taking money from a terrorist organization.
Isn't that the government? Reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to the government service, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. That's good. Defending women from, this is one that I was happy. Defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Now let's look a deep dive into this, because this is where people were really mad. This is where Harry really got upset. All because he wants to be a girl and he can't be now. He won't be identified as one. Harry, look, if you watch this, I want to explain something to you. We all can tell that you and Dean and all the rest of your butt buddies are fags. We get it. We understand and we can see it. You can come out the closet. Stop trying to act like you're trying to pull a chick. You like dudes. We know. You don't even have, there's no way you can even act masculine. We've seen you try. There are some people that, Stevie Wonder could see it. Ray Charles is dead and blind, and he can still see that you're gay. So just get out the closet already, bro. Get out the closet and just admit to Piers Morgan you wish that you had transitioned before this whole thing went into activity. That's what you wished. By the way, you can still transition. Feel free to do so. So let's take a look at this real quick. What does this mean? By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including Section 7301 of Title V, United States Code, it is hereby ordered across the country, ideologues who deny the biological reality of sex have increasingly used legal and other social coercive means to permit men to self-identify as women and gain access to intimate single-sex spaces and activities designed for women, from women's domestic abuse shelters, and that's a big problem, to women's workplace showers. This is wrong. Efforts to eradicate the reality of sex fundamentally attack women by depriving them of their dignity, safety, and well-being. The erasure of sex in language and policy has a corrosive impact not just on women, but on the validity of the entire American system. Basing federal policy on truth is critical to the scientific inquiry, public safety, morale, and trust in the government itself. Now, I agree 100% simply because of this. We like to, we in terms of us here on this panel, the Americans love to talk about the protections of women's, and you want to preserve your women's rights, while at the same time doing everything in their power to destroy everything that the rights of women mean. we want to be able to kill our kids. That's the only rights they seem to want to protect. Now, when a woman comes and tells you, I don't want that nasty, stinking, disgusting man dressed as a female in the women's spaces, you are now a bigot, a hateful person, and you don't like the fact that this man identifies as a woman. You ask him what a woman is, it's one that feels like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's just basic retardation, 101.
The other one is looking at Pete Hegseth and his questioning from our favorite Pocahontas about how like his things about women in the military. It's like, well, then why aren't we allowing women to be in the draft and be required to sign up for the selective service? It's because we obviously know the answer to that question. They don't actually want to do that, even though that would be true equality. They don't actually want to do that. Nobody actually wants that to happen.
It's different.
So this is a great clip of our favorite Canadian governor, soon to be Canadian governor or prime minister, however you want to put it. Here, Pierre Poilievre has a great answer to this question, because they're questioning him based off of what Donald Trump signed into his executive order yesterday. So take a listen to this.
First day on the job, President Trump signed an executive order. The U.S. government only recognizing two genders, male, female. They're unchangeable. If elected as prime minister, is that something that you're going to kind of walk in line with, or what are your feelings on that executive order?
Well, I don't know. Do you have any other genders that you like to name?
Me personally,
Yes.
I'm just asking more so if you're in line with what he is saying. Do you agree with what he's saying? Is that something that you would be lockstep with if elected as prime minister?
Well, I'm not aware of any other genders than men and women. And if you have any other that you want me to consider, you're welcome to tell me right now.
Well, there's personally, I am a man. I am a
Okay.
say cis man.
Good.
There are people there who they say they're
Me too.
gender
I'm a
neutral.
Man. Well,
you are a man. Yes, there are people there who say they're gender neutral. Yeah, they say they're gender neutral. They're a trans person. Is that something that you would recognize here, whereas in the States, at least with their U.S. government, the way they're seeing it, there's only two?
I'm only aware of two, but I mean, if you come up with another list, then you're welcome to do that. But I'm aware of two. And as far as I'm concerned, we should have a government that just minds its own damn business and leaves people alone.
Yeah. So the future governor of Canada has the best answer I've ever heard from a politician about it. It's like, hey, there's only two. If you tell me there's more, let me see a list, please. Because like, even if you believe in the nonsense is like, oh, there's transgenderism and there's non-binary, but yeah, that still means there's two. Non-binary, two. There's still the binary portion of that. If you're transitioning from one to the other, there's still only two. It doesn't change.
What are you transitioning to and from?
Yeah, exactly. There's only two.
They want to act like the third option is in between the 1 and 2 is what they're trying to say. There's a space in between. Well, it is a space in between.
If you go asexual,
and that is where nothing exists. Nothing exists between 1 and 2, which means you're mentally unstable. See? That's how this works.
Growing up, transgenders existed, cross-dressers, whatever they called them back then, and everything was fine. No one really cared. Honestly, especially in California, no one really cared, and I think people really started caring when you started getting this real hardcore push about exactly what Donald Trump said in that executive order about now they want to step into women's spaces and compete in women's sports and do all this stuff that was frowned upon years ago. And then when you look at the women that transition, you never see them really want to go into men's spaces. So why do these Jews want to go into women's spaces so bad? And if they want to live like that, live your life. That's what this guy, do your thing, keep the government out of it. But the minute you start infringing on someone's, liberty, that pursuit of happiness, you're infringing on that, then there has to be something said about it.
I call all to all Autobots. Roll out. So let's read. My goodness, these people. Establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency. It is official now, and I cannot wait. I heard there is a ticker on the debt clock that is a Doja clock. Did you check it out?
Yep.
And they're showing you how much money we are going to save with the kinds of things they're going to root out and get rid of. Last I saw, listen carefully. Last I saw, the number was around 8 billion. Is that what I saw?
Whew.
Something like that. There's also
Billion.
That's and what is that? Savings? That's
That
what
is
we're
they're
saving right
saving.
now.
That's the savings. Yes.
That's
Donald
good.
Trump mentioned when he was signing his executive orders that pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord is going to save us $1 trillion.
Basically,
He's close.
That's what happened last time.
Pulling out of the WHO too. It's going to save us tons of money.
So let's take a quick gander at something real quick, because you know we like showing stuff here. Look at this.
Live.
This is the dead clock right here.
Live.
Now we are going to be looking for the so-called
there.
doja. Where?
Top left.
Where?
Top left.
Top
Oh, there,
left.
Very
Doge
top
clock right
left.
there.
Yeah. Yellow.
This
It's yellow.
one? Yellow. Here we go.
Down there,
All
bro.
right. Let's zoom in a little bit here.
How much are we at now?
8.6 billion.
8,651 million, and it's going up.
I like how they have official spending and then they have the actual spending underneath it.
Ain't that weird?
I know, right? Like, shouldn't the official spending be the same as the actual spending?
Or actual should be less. If
yeah,
your budget, here's how budgets normally should work. I don't know if people understand it. Maybe people don't. I'm not the best at budgeting, but here's what I knew. I think I believe this. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You budget for what you think you will need. And you want to budget with an idea that you're going to budget for more just in case. But you don't ever want to have every year that your budget runs under the amount you spend. It tells me you're not sure about your budget, or you have a very poor control over your budget.
the easiest way to explain it to people is like this. Say you make a $50,000 a year, but you spend $100,000 every year. You have a $50,000 deficit of what you make versus what you spend. And that's what the government's been doing is they've been making 50,000, but they've been spending like have 120,000.
Yeah, and a lot of that spending
more,
and a lot of that spending, as Elon stated, is wasteful. So you'll get a budget, and then by the end of the fiscal year they realize that they haven't spent what they were allocated. Right. So a lot of that money at the end, they're wasting it so they can justify their next budget. Then they justify that budget. Then they get an increase on their next budget. They get to the next fiscal year. They don't spend all the money. They waste the rest of it. This is why you see so much government waste, and we sending money here to some fish swimming in acid program, whatever. And that's just waste. That's that extra wasteful money that they have to get rid of, and that's why they send it.
Meanwhile, giving yourself as a congresswoman or a senator 40% raise.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all the waste
exactly.
that they have to get rid of.
I was going to give you another example. Is a guy that makes 50,000. He has a wife that spends over 120,000, and she always got to have the Gucci bag with the long nails, and she's got to have a purse puppy, right? Spending it on dumb things, and you don't have the money to spend it on dumb things, but they keep doing it anyway, and then getting more loans.
Well, in their defense, they're not the smartest people.
No.
Okay, so let's
They're
give
about
them
the same type of person. Yeah.
Let's give them what the excuse is, what it is, because you can't expect the stupid to make the smart decision. Okay,
but it's the stupid people voting in the stupid people.
Exactly, which is why I say we stop engaging with them because they don't know any better.
Yeah,
the Viagra for Snells isn't the most egregious thing. When they gave cocaines to mice to see what it would be like to send them into a cage fight, that's one thing they've actually spent legitimate tax money on.
Okay. Devil's advocate here. I'd pay to see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Mice,
Hear me out. I think if Donald Trump had his own rat and gave him his own cocaine, that rat would be the best fighting rat ever. It'd be the beating up of every rat you ever saw. New York rats couldn't compare. My rat would be the biggest rat and would win. My cocaine's the best. That's what I think.
My cocaine rat.
The rat would have to have a comb over too, just like the Don. like an emo rat.
Emo rat, man. Can you imagine the rat stands up before the fight starts? Listen here. I'm gonna be winning this fight, just so you know. I'm the rat that belongs to Donald Trump, and my cocaine's the best. I just want you to be aware. I'm gonna whoop your behind. His
rat would have a gold collar.
Man, I'm just saying, I'd pay for it. I'd pay to see it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That would
That
be fun.
over
Not with the-
football? Come on now. Come on.
No, just not with tax
Yes,
dollars.
yeah.
Just not.
I
with
don't
tax
know.
dollars.
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far to say not with tax. It'd be more
All-
entertaining than watching the senators talk.
Now, if we can bet on it,
That's true.
like they used to tax dollars and they said, but poor rats though. I don't want to.
Somebody get a hold of Dana White, right?
Let-
And we tell him,
I-
hey,
Pay-per-view cocaine rats.
No, I would rather have cricket politicians on cocaine in a steel cage match.
oh,
broken brooms.
my money is on Hunter Biden.
You mean
Hunter
like
Biden is my cocaine rat.
what's that movie that Jason Statham was in?
Oh,
Where
Where
he
they
had
were
to get
driving cars
electrocuted.
around in the jail.
Oh yeah, no. What was it? Crank?
Death.
Death Race.
Death race.
Death
yeah.
race.
Oh no. There was another one too where he was like that, where he had like his heart couldn't slow
No,
down.
that's Crank. I'm
That's
not talking
not
about
it.
that. I'm talking about Death Race, where you all lock them up, and
Oh,
you get
okay.
them hyped up, and
Yeah.
you send them out to deal with each other. I wouldn't mind doing that. However, though, like I said, rats. Think about it this way: you will get rid of the entire population of rats in New York just for. I don't know. Taxpayer money could be worth it. Just thinking about it. I'm just saying, you're giving the rats something to do. You're giving. Look, you're trying to tell me that New York rats don't already do crack?
I'm an animal lover.
That's fair.
You know, I
Mike-
do love animals. I do
Mike-
love animals. I love all
Mike,
animals.
rats are not
I-
animals. Rats are vermin.
I still, hey, look, okay, they're vermin, but I still love animals. I'd rather put cricket politicians. I'd save the rat and put.
Okay,
Nancy
I have a
Pelosi
solution for you.
and Mitch
I have a
McConnell
solution
on it.
for you.
Yeah.
Here's the solution. You ready?
Uh-huh.
You do still give the rats cocaine,
Yeah.
but their target are the crooked politicians.
Yes. And you got to take cheese to their eyes.
Yeah. See? Problem solved. I'd pay money for that. President Trump, please sign that executive order.
Slide
Let's
it in.
get this
Dana White.
going.
Get the pay-per-view going.
Pay-per-view. Man, the
God,
money
it's
America would make in that. Woo!
That'd be killing.
I was just imagining like you put a herd of like cocaine rats in a cage with just like one crooked politician
One?
and just see
All
what
of them.
happens. Yeah.
Oh. Look, you wouldn't need burial costs after that. Protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public threats. Let's go to unleashing Alaska's extraordinary. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Invasion, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, Global Tax Deal. Let's read that. I'm curious about that one.
Oh, I know what this one is. Yeah.
Let's
It's,
see. The
more
United
of a
States
fade-
Trade
Let's read it.
Representative. The
Yeah.
permanent representative of the United States is an organization of economic cooperation and development. The OECD Global Tax Deal, supported under the prior administration, not only allows extraterritorial jurisdiction over American income, but also limits our nation's ability to enact tax policies that serve the interest of American businesses and workers. And I'm sure most of the lefties never heard about this because
It's
because of
getting-
the global tax deal and other discriminatory foreign tax practices, American companies may face retaliatory international tax regimes if the United States does not comply with foreign tax policy objectives. This memorandum recaptures our nation's sovereignty and economic competitiveness by clarifying that the global tax deal has no force or effect in the United States. Ooh.
Like that. More
When I
money.
tell you this man came in swinging, he came in swanging.
But, you know, Martin, he did say this was going to happen, though.
He did. He
You
did.
know,
Yeah,
they did
he
say
did.
they was coming in. It's going to be like, you know, broken arrow when he comes in office. And he did exactly that.
Reevaluating and realigning United States foreign
That's
aid.
a great one. 90-day pause on all spending for foreign aid.
The United States foreign aid industry and bureaucracy are not aligned with the American interest and in many cases antithetical to American values. They serve to destabilize world peace by promoting ideas in foreign countries that are directly adverse to harmonious and stable relationships internal to and among countries. Policy. It is the policy of the United States that no further United States foreign assistance shall be dispersed in a manner that is not fully aligned with the foreign policy of the President of the United States. Meaning, in case y'all forgot who was getting most of the money,
Yep.
they ain't gonna be getting no more money.
And you remember we talked about foreign aid months ago. We talked about how he should just cut all foreign aid until we can get our country straight. And you heard us, Don. You heard us.
Yep. There are tons of countries we give money to that we shouldn't be giving money to. And one of them is China. China has still been getting foreign aid assistance for a very long time. So has Pakistan, so has India. So there's a ton of other people that have been adversaries to the United States for a very long time. And we're still subsidizing a lot of things for them.
And when it comes,
they are wanting to kill us.
And when it comes to foreign aid, there's a lot of these countries that are would we consider first world countries also.
They don't need,
they have an infrastructure, they have an economy, they have everything we have here, but we're still giving them money.
Case in point, Ukraine.
Yep.
Ukraine, Europe, all of Europe, we subsidize to a tremendous degree.
So what this has also, I'm assuming this also has something to do with our involvement with NATO and NAFTA and all that.
Yes, because
what
you have
Trump
to think how much money
we had like almost a $300 million difference between what China was paying to what we were paying. I think China was paying 39 million and we were paying somewhere in the region of 300 million. And if you look at the discrepancy, like he mentioned, of population of 1 billion to 300 million, it is insane that we would be paying the amount that the billion population should be paying. In essence, we shouldn't be paying anything to them because we don't get any protections from the UN. We get invasions from the UN. We get a lot of policies from the UN, but we never get protections from the UN, which is kind of weird to me. So I don't know what we're
the ones that actually started the UN.
Think of it this way. It'd be like going to prison and you have a gang that says they're going to protect you. And every day you get whooped on and they tell you, well, you still got to pay us, but you're not protecting me. No, but you do pay me for protection. So what's the point? I get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'm just not going to pay you. You can afford to beat me up now, but you're not going to pay you. That's how we should be. It is a policy of the United States to no further. Okay, so 90-day pause in the United States foreign development assistance for assessment of the programmatic efficiencies and consistencies with the United States foreign policy. All department and agency heads with responsibility for the United States foreign development assistance program shall immediately pause new obligations and disbursements of development assistance funds to foreign countries and implementing non-governmental organizations, international organizations, and on contractors pending review of such programs and programmatic efficiency and consistency with the United States foreign policy, which is I'm happy for, because we need to start looking at things before we sign. What I hope now, I don't know if he'll do this. I don't know if he can. Well, let me put it this way. I hope that Congress does this. I want them to put a limit on the size of bills.
Yes.
I want you to put a limit on what you can present as a bill, and you have a deadline for time.
Yeah, that was going to say.
You have to give us 1 week minimum, and it cannot be past 500 pages. Y'all are smart enough. Whittle it down to 500. Tell us what you want. Get to the damn point and give us back, and we can figure it out. After we read it for a week, we can comb through it and make it 2 at the most points that you want to have passed. But it's 15 different things in one bill, and it's 1,500 pages, and you give it to me the night before. BS. Absolute BS. It should be tossed out and burned on the floor of Congress before it even got looked at.
And that's a great point, Marlon. And also, the American people should see these bills, all bills, before they're passed. Before anything, the American people should have time to read it, as Marlon stated. Give us a week. You put it out week on X. You put it out on X, and then if the American people have a grievance with something in there, we give our grievance right there on the X platform. Or Elon Musk takes that grievance, shows the people in charge, shows the president looks at it, he talks to Congress, and he goes, hey, we need to figure something out. The American people aren't happy with this portion right here, the majority.
Or
if I can't,
you give it a website. Just give us a website for us to go look. Just give us a website.
I was gonna say is like, if I can't read it while I'm taking a poop, then it's too long.
That's too short. That's too long of a bill.
And even with the website, you have to have a place in there to where the American people can interact with it.
Yes.
We have to be able to have some interaction, because we are allowed to come forward with our grievances. So if we have a grievance, there should be a portion on there where you can type in your grievance. And then at the end of it all, at the end of the week, they look at the numbers and they say, the American people aren't happy with X, Y, and Z. We need to relook at this before we try to pass this. And if they try to pass it, after the grievances were published, the president should veto it. Don't let it pass. Period.
And like I said, this whole idea of the seizing of funds, perfect. I hope this goes fully across the board, even and up to places just like Israel and Pakistan, and Palestine. Get rid of all of their funding. We don't need to. They have enough money, and let them deal with their crap by themselves. Y'all can say we need to be an ally to Israel. No, let them deal with their own stuff. Let them deal with it. We don't need to be putting our 2 cents in there whatsoever, like at all. This war is not going to be fixed by money. It's not going to be fixed by treaties. They have to figure their crap out. And if that means they wipe each other out, so be it. Ain't nobody care about that over here. We don't. We have enough problems of our own. Fix our home first, and then we can deal with other people. Temporary withdrawal from all areas on the outer continental shelf of offshore wind leasing, and review the federal government's leasing and permitting practice for wind projects. Again, all these Green New Deal crap things, get rid of them.
Shut it down.
Declaring a national energy emergency, fully agree. Restoring accountability for career senior executives, yes. Promoting beautiful federal civic architecture, yes. Restoring the death penalty and promoting public safety. I love that.
That's a good
one.
one.
I love that. That's one of my favorite ones right there.
That was specifically targeted to illegals that kill American citizens too.
Kill them all. Putting people over fish. Stopping radical environmentalism to provide water to Southern California.
Yes. Solution.
A solution. Protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. Yes. Realigning the United States refugee admissions program. Oh, I want to see this one. By the authority vested in me as president of the Constitution and laws of the United States, including the Immigration and Nationality Act, United States, I hereby ordered over the last 4 years, the United States have been inundated with record levels of migration. By the way, I don't know how many of you knew this, but the numbers went from 2,000 the year that Trump left office to 12,000 per year. No, per day, interactions. I want you to get that number, 12,000. The next year, 22, 15,000. I'll be putting out a video about this, by the way, soon. The numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
So if you think it's just Trump, no, it's Biden. So let's read. Excuse me. So cities and small towns alike, from Charleroi. Is that it? I'm not from there. Charleroi, Pennsylvania, and Springfield, Ohio, to Whitewater, Wisconsin, have seen significant influxes of migrants. Even major urban centers such as New York, Chicago, Denver have fought federal aid to manage the burden of new arrivals. Some jurisdictions like New York and Massachusetts have even recently declared states of emergencies because of it. And I'm glad that Mayor Adams is working with him on this one.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good thing. Now, I still don't like Mayor Adams, just FYI. But broken clock, right, at least twice.
Yeah.
Clarifying the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. America First trade policy. Yeah, I'm thinking that more like to be what he did in the first term that he had. Resolve the backlog of security clearances for executive office. Oh, come on now. Let's see what this is about. I heard he revoked Bolton's security detail. Did I hear right?
Yeah, all the 51 intelligence officials that lied about the 100-pound laptop.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Man, you on a roll, bro? You're on a roll. I like it. The executive office of the president requires qualified and trusted personnel to execute the mandate on behalf of the American people. And this is a backlog created by Biden administration in the processing of security clearances and individuals hired to work in the executive office of the president. Because of this backlog and the bureaucratic process and broken security clearance process, individuals who have not timely received the appropriate clearances are ineligible for access to the White House complex, infrastructure, and technology, and are therefore unable to perform duties for which they were hired. Do you believe, guys, that he will eventually go after the Secret Service for what happened on those 3 attempts on his life?
I hope so.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a deep inquiry into it for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's something Kash Patel will really hit hard on that.
because I do believe he needs to not just act like it happened and say, okay, but I think there needs to be some serious internal investigations
Yes.
into who was behind and who knew what and who didn't know what. Because here's the thing, if another president or person running for president has the same mindset as Donald Trump about America, I don't see why they wouldn't try this a second time.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Okay, so the southern border declared emergency, restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce, withdrawing America from the World Health Organization. Boom!
That's the
Thank
best
time.
one. That's a good one.
Done. No longer in with them. Application for the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversaries Control Applications Act to TikTok. Granting pardons and commutation for of sentences of certain offenses relating to events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6th. That is also a big one.
Yep.
1,500 people. Putting America first in international environment agreements, delivering an energy price relief for American families and defeating the cost of living crisis. Hiring freeze, regulatory freeze, pending review, return to in-person work. And I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that there might be quite a few people quitting because of this.
Yeah, it was come to find out only 5% of the federal workforce is actually in office.
Good. I hope they all quit. I really
Yeah.
do. I hope you quit, and I hope you
There's-
never go back to work. I hope so.
And there's a lot of people that probably want that job. So go ahead and quit. You're going to have somebody waiting that's willing to work.
And lose your pension too. I hope you lose that. I hope you quit and you never get that pension. I hope you never go back to work. And if that's how you feel about it, yes, we can always put somebody who actually wants to put America first, and you can stay home and collect what little employment you can get. That's what I hope for you. Since you want to quit, feel free. We ain't stopping you. Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. Please leave.
Yep.
Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. Booyah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6. Let's go to page 6 here. Come on. Go to page 6. Anytime now. Go for it. White
It's
House.
a long list.
Is it? It's not going. And you think we may not be at? Are we at the end? We shouldn't be at the end already. Come on, page 6.
It's your
Still working on
Obama
it, I
internet.
think.
I highly doubt that. There it is, page 6. Initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and taking away all of Biden's crap. Flying the flag of the United
80 of
States at full staff on Inauguration Day. President Trump designates chairman and acting chairman. He announces acting cabinet and cabinet level positions, sub-cabinet, and the cabinet appointees. So
Yeah, it was all government stuff.
his first day went swimmingly.
Mhm.
He was actually on point answering questions, and he was back to shut up, I'm talking. Don't be so rude. And I love to hear that again. Not this. Anyway,
Let me Roomba away over here.
none of that anymore. Now we have
As-
somebody who can actually talk, answer questions, and put the people in their place. We don't want any more of these journalists thinking that they are part of government. You're not part of government. All you are a mouthpiece. We don't need to hear from you. We wouldn't want to hear from you. Nobody cares what you have to say. You're there to ask a question, and he reserves the right to answer you, especially when it's a stupid question. He doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad.
And
this
as
is
much
back.
as they don't want to admit it, they're happy that a president can actually talk.
Coherence.
Small miracles, but true ones. Small, but true. Now, what we can say over the next few years is, well, this is what you're going to see. Fight back. They've already had people try to draw up articles of impeachment already, by the way.
Yeah.
That's already started. That has already begun. Articles of impeachment have already begun to float around about President Trump. Before, mind you, before he even took the oath,
Yep.
that was floating around.
And
I don't
here's what
know
the-
how, but hey.
Here's what the American people have to understand, and I know a lot of leftists won't. The right does. They're going to use the same playbook they did from 2016 to 2020. Same playbook. They're going to come up with all types of stuff, trying to impeach him, call him a racist, call him a Nazi, say he didn't come through on this, say he didn't come through on that. You have to understand that there's still an opposition out there that he's trying to clean out. So until that opposition is out of there, and they're right and left, they're always going to give pushback. So he's not going to hit gates like he promised a lot of times because he has to fight people at the same time, just like he did when he was president in 2016.
Mhm.
So, just be patient, but good times are coming. Good times.
Let the good
He also has
times
to work
roll.
against a Congress and a Senate that doesn't actually want him there to begin with.
Yep.
I'm looking to see if I can find that guy that wants to post that the impeachment thing, because I remember reading it on X.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I sent it to the chat. His name was, let me find it. I sent it the other day.
Some nobody trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, he's I've never even heard of the dude until I know his last name is Davis, I think. Let me double check.
Now, whether or not
Yeah,
he has the power to,
He'll just end up like Bowman, Jamal. Good old Jamal pulling the fire alarm, got himself ousted. And the next midterm, that's probably what'll happen to him if you bring that. He's like, dude, nobody cares about any of the stuff that the left is doing. Like them calling Elon Musk a Nazi and that he was doing a Nazi salute. And everybody's like, no, dude, you're stupid. He was trying to give his heart to the people. And you're saying it's a Nazi salute. And everybody's just tired of it. They want you to shut up. And they want Trump to actually do his job. Everybody's tired of having a president that actually didn't do anything and being lied to. Like, that's what it really
here it
comes
is.
down to.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
So let's take a look at this real quick to end things here, because I want you all to understand that there are people like this out there. His name is John Boniface.
Boniface, yeah.
We have just launched a new campaign calling for an inquiry, an impeachment inquiry against Donald Trump for offenses he has already committed upon taking the oath. I'm trying to figure what offenses he's done since taking the oath. You can access the grounds for this call at impeachtrumpagain.org. Join us in the fight for our democracy. Let's see what this is.
What's the
Impeach
point
Trump
of this? Like,
again.
what is he claiming he did?
We don't know. This we're gonna look.
All right, Donald Trump
Democracy.
has been sworn in as president of the United States for the second time. Not only is he disqualified, 14th. Not only was he disqualified from president, but he has already violated the United States Constitution. And just like 8 years ago, more violations will certainly follow. During his campaign and in the months between his election and inauguration, Trump has threatened to engage in unlawful, unconstitutional, notice he's not naming it so far. He has once more positioned himself to abuse the office for personal profit and power in violation of clear constitutional commands and at the expense of the democratic institutions, constitutional precedent, and for the safety of the country's most vulnerable. So what did he do?
Marlon, I have a question. Did a president just not pardon his entire family for criminal actions they may or may not have committed from, what was it, 2014 to now?
No.
They don't care about that.
That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, because that's not an abuse of power at all.
No, they don't care. Only the left can abuse power. The right, they're not allowed to do it.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah, the left is allowed.
Trump is not a monarch. He is beholden to the Constitution, as is Congress, and for the founders, and as the founders understood, if we are to preserve our democracy. I almost feel like reading it, marriage. For the people, then Congress has a duty to investigate it and, if necessary, move a corrupt executive. So
then why don't they ever do it to Congress?
What do you do? You see it yet?
No. Marlon, one thing that kind of bugged me in that little statement right there was he put Constitution and democracy in the same.
I'm trying to
figure paragraph. It made no sense.
If you ask people if the founding fathers mentioned democracy once in any of their writings, it's not. It's Republican Constitution.
Yeah.
Constitutional Republic over and over again. Yeah. But yeah. They also thought that democracy was dangerous, by the way.
He's listing it right here. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Violations of the Emoluments Clause.
What? No. Are we there?
Yeah, we're there. The Constitution contains two clauses known as the Emoluments Clause that prohibit a president from profiting from the United States, individual states, or foreign government. You mean like Biden?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that China money that he got from his son?
Or Ukraine.
Isn't that weird that you didn't file that with the Emoluments Clause with that one, though?
No, because it got shot down when AOC tried.
Huh. The founders understood that them to provide a critical safeguard against corruption, particularly corruption of the executive by foreign powers. As Alexander Hamilton explained, the Foreign Emoluments Clause ensures that foreign powers can neither weaken his fortitude by operating on his necessities, nor corrupting his integrity by appealing to his avarice.
Let me. There's two things I want to mention. What about the Obama foundations and the Clinton foundations?
Different.
Those are
Again,
different. Okay. I was
they're
just saying,
leftists.
like any of those times, yeah.
They're leftists. We can't
Okay.
talk about them. They're the
Different.
kings, and that's
All
the
different.
king and the queen.
All different.
Yeah.
Trump has refused to sell his ownership stake in companies through which he has assured to receive substantial payments from foreign governments in violation of foreign emoluments.
He's also
clause.
the only president that's ever lost
Untrue.
money while in office.
But hold on. That is not true, because he has indeed separated himself from his business.
Didn't they complain about this as first?
They did.
And
They
he
did.
separated.
This is
himself.
just a redo of
Yeah,
everything
okay.
they've already done.
Okay. Just make sure.
Congress must open immediate impeachment investigation based on these grounds: unlawful, unconstitutional, and corrupt conduct during the 2024 presidential campaign. This ought to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Violating campaign finance laws by offering benefits in exchange for campaign contributions, including by offering tax and regulatory favors to oil and gas executives if they provide $1 billion in contributions, concealing legal service payments by his campaign and related super PACs, unlawfully coordinating with super PACs that support his candidacy, including those financed by billionaires he later appointed to key administrative positions, and facilitating and accepting unlawful campaign contributions from Elon Musk via X and Musk's billion-dollar baby lottery scheme that paid out. You mean, hold on, let me ask a question of you.
Any of those things can apply to Biden.
But they
Single
did.
one of those.
They did, though. And it applied to Kamala Harris as well.
Yep.
It applied to that wench as well. That
Where did the
whore
$1 billion
as well.
go, Kamala?
It applied to her. Everybody that she paid to try and get endorsements, it applied to her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't want to say that because she says she's black. I'll say it for you. That whore makes enough money on her knees. She doesn't need to really campaign. But at the same time, she's willing to whore herself out to everybody else that has money to try and become president. I'll say it for you. That's all she knows is how to whore.
Boring.
If there was a book being written about how to be a whore, she would have been the author, she would have been the main star, and she'd have been the book writer for every other subsequent novel. That's how much of a tramp she is. And I'll say full-chested because it's proven. Ask Willie. Ask Willie.
Yep. And then the third point he makes is pardoning and blocking prosecution of fellow insurrectionists, right? He's talking about the J6 people. Yeah.
No different than pardoning
which is
pedophiles
his
like
legal
Joe did.
right. As a president of the United States, he is allowed to pardon people. They pardoned people after the Civil War. They pardoned Confederates. That they were actual insurrectionists, and they still got pardons because that's part of the process of the president being able to do that because it's legal. It's not illegal to pardon people.
But hold on. I don't see him complaining about the preemptive pardons that Joe did.
No.
That's
No,
not
because
been
that
done.
was his family, Marlon. He
Yeah,
was
that's
taking care of his family. That was his child.
my bad.
His little boy, Hunter.
His little crackhead
child.
boy.
His
His child.
50-year-old boy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they make it is they make it seem like Hunter Biden's some 13-year-old boy that he has to
I know, right?
coddle. And
Well,
party.
have you heard
He's-
Hunter talk?
he-
The what?
Put in the,
Have you
yeah.
heard Hunter talk? He talks like a damn 13-year-old because his brain
Yeah.
is so fried.
Yeah, that's from all the
Yeah.
crack and the meth.
He is as they like to put it, he is a grown-ass man. A whole grown-ass man. Like he's 50, he's a grandfather in some places of the world.
He
right?
might be his own grandpa, for all we know.
And here's the thing, and John Fetterman said it. You know, John Fetterman. I'm kind of liking what he's saying these days, but he said, you know, no one wants to
He might
see a
be switching.
president. No one wants to see a president fail. You know, if you're a citizen and you actually want to see a president fail, something's wrong with you. No matter how much we didn't like Joe Biden, we didn't want to see the country fail. And we spoke up about the things he was trying to do. Doesn't mean we wanted him to fail. We just didn't agree. These people are seeing things that Trump's trying to implement that benefit the American people, and they want him to fail doing it just because they don't like him. That's the difference between the right and the left.
Well, that's one of the differences.
Oh, there's many more. That's
And then there was also the people that were protesting his inauguration with the guillotine, and that was the same sort of thing that they were saying that the insurrectionists were doing on January 6th was running around with guillotines. Then what's the difference?
Thank you.
They're the left. We're the right.
Yeah.
Last I checked, they burned courthouses too. So
yeah,
they did a lot of nasty things that never got arrested for, and those lawyer couples that were firebombing police cars, they got a slap on the wrist and walked. They didn't even spend any time in jail, and they lit a cop car on fire and were handing out Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, ain't that something?
I know, right?
The fact is this, right?
A day in jail.
The Bible, I'm reading something. You have to understand this, right? These people have no moral compass. They have none. And they're going to look for every opportunity to cut down what somebody else is doing. They're not having a solution. They know they don't want what you're doing. And even when you do give them power, like we did do for the last 4 years, they'll always blame it on something else. Now, here's the point. I'm glad that something happened, though. Remember, their theory is that every president is gaining from what the prior president did?
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, right? That's what they say.
That only applies if you're a Republican.
But man, I'm going to go with their theory. If we are now going into Trump's presidency, right? What exactly is he going to fix?
I mean, according to them, the economy is good. International relations is great. We're not suffering. So
that was Biden or was that Trump?
So,
was that Biden or Trump?
Well, that's under Biden. But now that we're coming into Trump's presidency, since he's going to inherit all of Biden's stuff.
Yeah.
There can't be anything.
You see my point? He's inheriting what, though? Is he inheriting the bad or what?
Yeah, no, because according to the left, nothing's wrong. Everything's good.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not upticking. Remember, Harry said he's been in office and still eggs haven't gone down and gas hasn't gone. So you're telling me it's high. Perfect. Now, remember this. If you're expecting him to fix it, you're not attributing the next progress of time to Biden. I'm glad you said that, little Harry boy. I'm glad you said that. So now we can officially take your word and say from here on out for the next 4 years, we can attribute everything that goes well to Donald Trump. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And I'm sure Harry got on that little microphone, his little, TikTok live, stating that everything was great, all through, when President Biden was running for president again. And then now he has a problem with it. Now he's saying that it's bad and Donald Trump didn't do X, Y, and Z. The price of eggs are still high, gas is still high, and all this stuff. Oh, so you're admitting that everything you said was a lie. You're a fraud.
That reminds me of when Joe Scarborough found out that butter was over $7.
Or Whoopi and eggs. That was the best part too, when Whoopi found out eggs were high.
Or when
they don't even
limited
shop for
that
themselves.
groceries, and when Kamala limited that groceries are in fact 50% more expensive.
Yeah. These people are insane.
Dementia monkeys is what they are.
Mucho crazio. But we'll be back.
The
Friday.
economy is great.
Massively great. I'm looking forward to talking about the hearings that they recently had because there were some good gotcha moments. However, we will talk about the facts of the actual situation where some of them did not answer proficiently. Just be honest. Say what you got to say. That'd be great.
There's also Sean Hannity's doing a major interview with Trump tonight as well.
Oh,
that might stir up some stuff.
Oh, no doubt. Anytime he talks.
So,
Yeah, we did. We did talk about that fragile little boy, Mr. Harry. Harry Potter. Actually, he reminds me more of Dobby than Harry Potter.
Harry Dean. Harry, Dean, Parker, and who's the other little monkey? Chris Mowry. Their days are numbered, man. I mean, if you look at just their interaction, go to X and just watch. Whenever Harry posts something, he gets ratioed and he's just getting eaten alive in the comments. And the same thing's happening on his TikTok. They don't have the support because people are starting to see through these fools. So let him go. And I keep telling people, stop interacting with that monkey, man.
Stop.
Let him disappear. He'll disappear eventually. He'll be forgotten about and he'll be made fun of for the rest of his life.
And here, how you know the winds are shifting is when Snoop Dogg is okay performing for Donald Trump. Remember back in 2016 and during his presidency, he had that whole music video where he was dressing Donald Trump up as a clown and shooting the gun at him. Remember the bang?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're best buds. They're best friends.
Isn't that
Everything's
weird?
great.
Isn't that weird?
I know.
Yeah, real quick, Marlon, on that point. Remember when Snoop came out and said anybody who performs at Donald Trump's inauguration in 2016 is a jigaboo?
Well, I guess he
so
is.
remember, you remember that? Remember he said that? You're a jigaboo and da 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 da. Now, what did he do? What did he do?
He became a jigaboo.
He's a jigaboo.
Yeah, he became one. He shamed people for doing it in 2016. Now here he is on the stage doing the same thing he shamed people for. This is how these celebrities.
Yeah.
This is how these celebrities operate. You know, all that was for, clout when he was talking all that stuff, clout and money. He was worried about his reputation. I get it. He's at the point now where he knows what's up. So he's going to support the man.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, the guy is now doing T-Mobile, commercials. Like he's a has-been.
You know what it is? All it
he's
had
a
to
homie.
take is for LA to burn to the ground for them to admit they were wrong.
There it is.
Yeah, Snoop's a hometown guy, We're from the same city, but I don't know what happened to him.
Unless
Money.
you're Bill Burr. So we will talk about all the nominees and all the court cases and all the hearings that they had and all the nominations, some debacle that they had. And more than likely, if it's allowed, we'll see if we can stream that Hannity thing. Is that tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
It's tonight. Yeah.
Tonight. Do you know what time?
Probably like 8-ish is what it is, but we could probably
8 Eastern?
clip it and talk about it Friday.
Let's find out.
I think so, Eastern.
Today's
It's 8 or 9 Eastern. I don't know which one.
It looked like one already happened 4 hours ago.
Hmm.
Might already had happened.
Yeah.
We'll check. If it has
We'll
happened,
watch
we'll
it.
try and post up a few clips of it and see what happens, at least on YouTube, if not somewhere else. But we'll be back on Friday. Make sure you check us out. If you have not gone to check out our merch store, please do that. We have some hilarious stuff, and we'll be coming out with a few more. And maybe Mercy or whatever her names was that came in to talk about these black people on the panel are kind of weird. Maybe you want to check out the real t-shirt that would fit you.
Unbelievable.
And that is the BAN shirt. I think it would fit you perfectly because we, the two of us on top here, are indeed blacks against niggas. And so if you fit that bill, you might want to get you one, okay? Because we are. There is a massive difference between black people and those folks. So we want to make sure people understand there is a difference, okay? Don't let anybody lie to you. There is a massive difference.
Oh,
between
she's
the
gonna
two,
be mad.
okay?
Yeah.
So y'all check it out. Mr. Lee,
Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all Friday.
peace.